Okay, folks, today we're going to be talking about factoring trinomials, and a trinomial is right here. Three terms. The A, B are coefficients. This is the leading coefficient or leading term. C is a constant. So we're going to be doing them when A is equal to 1, which are the most basic and simplest kind, as you can see here in my notes. This is my example. The A term is 1, the B term is 10, and the C term is 16. This is your key question. So you can pause the video if you need to and then just repeat it to yourself, because the key question is, what can I multiply to get the C term, in this case 16, and then add to get the B term, in this case is 10. So let's take a look at the example. So I wrote down 16 and I wrote all the factors. Then I added them up and checked to see which one equaled 10. And of course it's 2 and 8. So, next thing you do, create two pairs of parentheses and plug in your x. X times x is x squared. And finally, plug in those numbers, plus 8 and plus 2. And it didn't matter if I wrote it plus 8 here or plus 2 here and reverse them. That does not matter. All right, so we're going to do a couple together, and then there's a U try. All right, well, let's take a look at this. The C term is 6. So what can I multiply to get 6? 2 times 3, 1 times 6. That's it. Which ones add up to 5? Both are positive, by the way, so that makes it very easy. Which ones add up to 5? Well, of course, 2 plus 3 equals 5. So this is the correct combination. Put two parentheses, x twice, and then plug in your numbers, positive 2, positive 3, and those are your pair of binomials. Binomials are two terms. Terms with two terms in them, expressions with two terms in them. So there they are. You can always check. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 plus 3 is 5. You know you've done it correctly. Okay, let's try the next one. What are the factors of 32? Now, factors of 32, 1 times 32, 2 times 16, 4 times 8. But they have to add up to negative 12. Well, if I start adding these positive numbers, I'm getting more positive numbers, so that's not going to be right. So if the middle term is negative and this is positive, you have to remember your sign rules. If they're both negative, then they will still multiply and give a positive number. But if they're negative and you add them, you get a negative number. So if you make them all negative, hopefully you can see pretty quickly which ones are the right pair. What adds up to negative 12, folks? Well, negative 4 plus negative 8 equals negative 12. So that's the ones we want. Again, two pairs of parentheses. Take the x and divide it up there, x times x, and take your numbers, negative 4, negative 8, and plug them in. Negative 4 times negative 8 is a positive 32, but negative 4 plus negative 8 is a negative 12. So again, we've checked it quickly, and it is good. The last one has these two negatives in it, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. We've got to pay attention. I'm going to do that over here. So I need negative 24. Except to do my factors, I'm not going to worry about the negative right now. They're going to have to add up to negative 2. I know that. So this is my C term. This is my B term. All right. So let's start talking about the factors of just 24. And that would be, 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, 5 times nothing, and then 6 times, but we've already done that, so we found all the factors. We're done there. One of these has to be negative. Only one, because a negative times a positive gives me a negative number. So now start looking at them. It could be a negative 1 times 24. Well, negative 1 plus 24 is, of course, 23. So that didn't work. So let's look at which ones might. Well, here, this catches my eye, because if this is a negative 2, 12 plus negative 2 would be a positive 10. No, that didn't work, did it? So there we go. What about, what's the difference between 3 and 8? If one of these is negative, I'm only going to get a 5. So negative 3 plus 8 equals positive 5. But here we go. The difference between those is 2, but which one has to be negative? Well, the bigger number, the larger number. So if I make that a negative number, and I do 4 plus negative 6, I get negative 2. I have found the correct pair. So let's go back here. I'm going to make my 2 pair of parentheses. I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. It's x and x, and then finally plug these in. Does it matter if I put negative 6 first or here? No, it doesn't. Whatever order makes you happy is the correct order for you that day. Isn't that wonderful? Yes. All right, so here's your you try. This one here has 2 negatives, which is going to make it a little challenging. It's very similar to this one, so you take your time. I would pause the video. Are you pausing it? And then I'm going to reveal your answers so that you can see the work. And I definitely hope you have a great day. And let's see how you did. Pause it now. And there's all the work for it. You can pause the video and hopefully still see it and see the work if you got either of them wrong. I hope you didn't. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have factored your basic trinomials where the a is 1. The next video will go on because I'm sure some of you are saying, yeah, but what about when the a is greater than 1? And I found a different method online, and I kind of like it. So I hope you will too. Till next time, folks, have a good one.